Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered when exactly your spark started to fade? Maybe it happened slowly. A few extra lines on your face. A heaviness in your legs by mid-afternoon. Less bounce in your step even on days you thought you slept well. I want you to know you are not imagining it, and you are certainly not alone. I have been a men's health physician for over 30 years, sitting across from guys in their 60s and 70s who ask me the same worried question. Doc, why do I feel older than my age? Why does my skin look so tired, or why does my energy disappear before lunch? Most folks shrug it off as just aging. But there is something else going on inside you that plays a huge part and almost no one talks about. Your body has to keep a very delicate balance in your blood. A slight drift toward acidity, and you begin to pay the price in ways that feel subtle at first but add up over time. Cuts heal slower, your skin looks dull, and your usual morning spark can vanish. I had a patient named Carl, a retired plumber still proud of those big strong hands. He told me every morning felt like he had already put in a full day of work before he even finished his coffee. His wife said he stopped tinkering with his old Mustang, something that used to light him up. His lab tests all looked fairly normal. And that's what makes this so frustrating. Because a slow shift in your blood's acid balance is rarely dramatic enough to show up in standard tests. Yet it's more than enough to weigh you down day after day. The encouraging part? You are not stuck this way. With a few gentle, steady steps, you can help guide your body back into a healthier state, where your blood flows easier, carries more oxygen, and helps you look and feel more alive again. Ask yourself right now, what would it be worth to wake up feeling a little more like yourself again? Because in the next section, I'll share why that plain old box of baking soda hiding in your kitchen might hold more power than you ever imagined. When was the last time you truly thought about what's swirling around inside your blood? Probably never. That's normal. Most people would rather not dwell on the messy chemistry that keeps them alive. But here's the thing. Understanding even a little bit of it can give you back so much. As we move through life, our kidneys naturally slow. They still work, but they are not as quick at flushing out waste. Our blood thickens just a touch. Acid byproducts hang around longer. Little by little, your inner environment shifts, becoming more acidic than nature intended. That sounds minor, but it changes everything. It stiffens your blood vessels, weighs on your heart, and starves your cells of easy oxygen. This is where humble baking soda comes in. Not the fancy stuff. Just the plain powder you probably have in your pantry. Taken wisely, it acts as a gentle alkalizer, helping neutralize that creeping acid. It supports smoother blood flow and allows oxygen to reach your tissues more freely. Mike, a retired electrician who still had thick forearms from years of pulling cable, told me every morning felt like wading through wet cement. Nothing specific hurt. He was just heavy, slow, drained. We tried half a teaspoon of baking soda in water a few mornings a week. After 3 weeks, he came back saying, "Doc, I almost forgot to sit down at the table this morning. I just got up and moved." That was the first time in a long time. The beauty of this is how simple it can be. No new prescriptions, no complicated regimens. Just a tiny bit of support that gives your body the nudge it needs to remember how to function better. Pause for a second and ask yourself, how much lighter would your days feel if your blood was flowing the way it's supposed to? In the next part, we'll look even closer at how baking soda supports your circulation, the very highway system that keeps your entire body alive. Have you noticed your hands or feet seem colder these days? Or that tiny scratches seem to hang around longer before they fade? These aren't random. They're small warnings from your circulation system that your blood isn't moving quite like it used to. I can't overstate how critical good circulation is. Your heart pumps tirelessly, but if your blood is too thick or your vessels too tight, the delivery slows. Muscles starve for oxygen, your brain feels foggy, your skin loses that healthy tone, and your private parts struggle to perform. It's all connected. Baking soda has a quiet way of easing this burden. By helping your blood lean less acidic, it softens the vessel walls and lets blood slip through more freely. Think of it like clearing out tiny roadblocks so traffic can flow again. Sam, a 70-year-old retired shop teacher, told me his feet were always like ice. His wife joked about wearing socks to bed just because of him. We started a simple routine, half a teaspoon of baking soda in water every other morning. 2 weeks later, he was grinning. He stuck his foot in my lap and said, "Feel that, document warm." For the first time in years. Small shifts like that matter more than most people realize. They ripple through your whole system, feeding your organs better, letting you feel steadier on your feet, and giving you back little daily freedoms. Ask yourself right now, wouldn't it be worth trying something this gentle to keep your blood moving the way it should? Up next, we'll look at how this same simple help can ease muscle soreness and give your legs a second wind. Have you caught yourself slowing down not because of your lungs or heart, but simply because your legs get tight and sore far too quickly? Maybe after a short walk or a bit of yard work, you find yourself rubbing your thighs or calves, wishing they didn't cramp so easily. This is one of the most common reasons older men start avoiding activity, and it's exactly where gentle internal support can make a surprising difference. As we age, our muscles don't clear waste products as efficiently. When you move, your muscles burn fuel and produce lactic acid. Younger bodies flush that out fast. But over 60, that process drags. Acid lingers, fibers stay tense, and you pay the price with soreness that hangs around longer than it should. This is why I often recommend a modest baking soda routine. That small half teaspoon helps buffer excess acid. It gives your muscles a little breathing room so they can work longer before complaining, and bounce back quicker when they do get taxed. I'll never forget Larry, a 66-year-old who once coached baseball. He loved tossing a ball with his grandkids but had started bowing out after just 10 minutes. His legs would tighten, and by the next morning he'd be shuffling through the house like an old man he didn't recognize. We didn't overhaul his life. We just added a few baking soda mornings. A month later, he told me proudly he'd thrown the ball for almost an hour and didn't wake up hobbling. The grin on his face was worth more than any lab number. Think about this for yourself. What would it mean to walk around the block without that dull burn creeping into your calves? To play with your grandkids without worrying you'll pay for it tomorrow? Small shifts like this change more than your muscles. They restore your confidence and keep you engaged in the things that truly make life rich. And while your legs and back certainly deserve that help, there's another part of your body that relies just as heavily on smooth circulation and balanced chemistry. It's a part most men feel uneasy talking about, even though it weighs heavily on their hearts. So next, let's tackle it openly and give you some hope where it matters most. Can I be honest? One of the deepest fears I see in men over 60 isn't about aching joints or slower muscles. It's that creeping sense their mind isn't as sharp. That they're starting to fumble words, lose track of thoughts, or forget why they walked into a room. It's a quiet worry that steals confidence in ways most people never admit out loud. Your brain demands a rich, steady supply of oxygen. When your blood becomes sluggish or more acidic, that delivery slows. Waste builds up. What you feel is that mental fog, a dull, disconnected sense that your sharp edge is slipping. Baking soda isn't magic, but by gently improving the acid balance in your blood, it helps oxygen reach your brain cells more freely. That means clearer thoughts and fewer moments where you find yourself blankly staring, grasping for a word that just won't come. Paul, a retired insurance adjuster, once told me he lived for crossword puzzles and trivia nights. But lately, he said it was like trying to think through syrup. His brain felt heavy, and by dinner he was too drained to do more than stare at the TV. We added baking soda a few mornings a week, plus light walks to help circulation. A month later, he chuckled and told me his wife rolled her eyes because he was back to cracking dumb puns at the dinner table. That, to them, was a bigger victory than any lab report. Ask yourself now, what would it be worth to feel like your mind woke up with you each morning, ready to enjoy life instead of stumbling through it? Because next, we're going to take this even closer to home and talk about one of the most private yet profoundly meaningful parts of your health, and how your circulation touches it, too. Let's get right to it. Nothing chips away at a man's quiet confidence like struggling in the bedroom. Over the years, countless men have pulled me aside, dropped their voice, and confessed how ashamed they feel that things just don't work like they used to. They often blame their testosterone, or even question if they're still a real man. I want to tell you plainly, you're not alone, and it's usually not your fault. Most of the time, it isn't even a hormone issue. It's circulation. Those tiny vessels that carry blood into the penis are some of the smallest and most sensitive in your entire body. When your blood grows thicker from creeping acidity, or your vessels are stiff and slightly inflamed, those crucial pathways start to close off. Less blood flow means weaker responses. It's purely mechanics, not manhood. This is where that simple baking soda step can help in a way few expect. By balancing your blood's pH, it allows your vessels to relax and carry blood more easily, including to places most men would rather not talk about but deeply care about. It doesn't promise teenage vigor, but it clears small obstacles so your natural response has a better shot. Henry, 73, once led construction crews. Even retired, he still had a proud chest and firm handshake. But intimacy? He quietly avoided it, terrified it would end in frustration. We started him on half a teaspoon of baking soda a few times a week. About 5 weeks later, he came in and said, almost whispering, "Doc, we danced in the living room, and it led to something I thought was gone forever." His smile told the whole story. Imagine how much lighter your heart might feel if you didn't dread intimacy but welcomed it, knowing your body could meet you halfway. That's what gentle circulation support gives back, dignity and quiet pride. And while improving this personal side is deeply important, it all still rests on using baking soda wisely. That means knowing how to keep it gentle so it truly helps you without creating new problems. So next, let me show you exactly how to do that in a way that respects your body's natural rhythm. If you've ever thought, well, if a little bit helps, more must be better, let me stop you right there. That thinking is why so many men end up feeling worse instead of better when they start using baking soda. Your body doesn't need to be blasted with daily doses. It needs a soft, steady nudge. The approach I've found best for most older men is surprisingly modest. Start with half a teaspoon of plain baking soda stirred into a glass of room temperature water. Drink it on an empty stomach, ideally first thing in the morning or a couple hours after eating. Do this 2 or 3 times a week. That's it. Your body will respond far better to gentle, spaced-out support than daily heavy-handed correction. Marvin, a 69-year-old retired bus driver, tried doubling up. Twice a day, every day, thinking he'd speed things up. A week later he was back in my office with a bloated belly, grumbling that he felt awful. We scaled it back, gave his body a breather, and then eased back in. A month later, he was feeling lighter, with far fewer stomach grumbles, and he even joked that he learned moderation the hard way. You can also help from the outside. Try soaking your feet in warm water with a couple tablespoons of baking soda. It's simple, feels soothing, and gently helps your body release extra waste through the skin. Some men also like using a tiny pinch mixed with water as a gentle face rinse once a week. Nothing fancy, just small kindnesses that add up. Ask yourself right now, doesn't your body deserve this kind of patient, respectful care after carrying you all these decades? In the next part, I'll show you the most common mistakes men make so you can sidestep them and keep your journey smooth. Can I give you a bit of tough love? Some of the biggest disappointments I see with baking soda come from men who try to rush results. They either overdo the amount, never give their body a break, or skip talking to their regular doctor even when they're on meds for blood pressure or kidneys. I hate seeing that because it means something that could help ends up causing frustration or worry instead. Frank, 72, runs a little woodworking shop from his garage. When he heard me talk about baking soda, he decided to dive all in. Twice daily, every single day. Within a week he was back in my office holding his stomach. "Doc, I feel awful." His gut was rebelling. We backed him off, reset his routine, and pretty soon he was feeling better and noticing his legs didn't tire out quite as fast. Your body needs rhythm, not constant pressure. That's why I tell most men 3 or 4 times a week is plenty. Give your system time to adjust and catch up. Also, never skip telling your main doctor, especially if you're on meds that affect sodium or kidney function. Natural doesn't mean free of responsibility. It means treating your body's chemistry with respect. Pause for a moment and really consider this. Isn't it better to go slow and keep your progress than to charge ahead and end up feeling worse? Because next, I'll share a simple 7-day plan that pulls everything together into a gentle structure that's helped many men start feeling like themselves again. Let me share something I've noticed after guiding thousands of men. It's not dramatic overhauls that change your life. It's the steady, quiet habits that slip into your mornings and evenings and slowly rebuild your strength from the inside out. That's why I started giving my older patients an easy 7-day plan. No rigid schedules, no guilt if they miss a day, just a simple way to keep their body moving in the right direction. It goes like this. On 4 mornings out of the week, you start your day with half a teaspoon of baking soda stirred into a glass of room temperature water. Drink it on an empty stomach and then go about your day. On the other 3 days, skip the drink and instead give your body gentle support in other ways. Maybe it's a warm foot soak with baking soda in the evening, or a 10-minute stroll outside followed by slow, deep breaths. The pattern matters more than strict rules. It gives your body a little wave of support, then time to settle, so it can keep its natural balance. Dale, a 65-year-old retired dentist, was one of the first men I tried this with. Before, he'd wake up each morning already bracing himself for fatigue, counting hours until bedtime. We put him on this light 7-day flow. A couple weeks later, he told me he caught himself whistling in the kitchen again. His wife even teased him for staying up to watch a ball game instead of nodding off after dinner. Those little moments mean everything. It's how you know life is creeping back in. What's beautiful is that your body often knows exactly what to do once you clear a bit of the static. When your blood flows easier, your oxygen delivery improves, and your tissues get the gentle reset they've been craving, you start seeing changes that feel small at first but add up. Your skin might look a touch brighter, your mind might keep pace in conversation, your legs might feel eager for a stroll rather than heavy with dread. So ask yourself right now, wouldn't it be worth trying a small, kind routine like this? You've got decades behind you of pushing hard. Isn't it time to give your body a little help instead of more strain? And while this 7-day rhythm does wonders for how you physically feel, there's something even deeper we need to touch on. It's about how you see yourself as a man in this stage of life. So let's go there next, because that shift might be the most important one of all. I want to leave you with this thought that's been on my mind through all these stories we've shared. Your body has carried you through so many chapters already, moments of triumph, laughter, maybe heartbreak too. It might be softer in places, slower to bounce back, but that doesn't mean it's broken or done giving you reasons to smile. I see so many men quietly wrestling with the idea that getting older means losing value. That if their skin isn't tight or their stamina has dipped, they're somehow less than who they were. I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. Your worth isn't measured by your waistline or how many push-ups you can do. It's in the way you show up for the people you love, the way you keep trying, the way you still wake up each day ready to give life another go. There's a line I've often shared with patients, something simple that's carried me through my own aging too. You might not get to rewrite the first chapters, but you sure as hell have a say in how this next one reads. Your body still knows how to heal. It still responds to care. All it needs is your steady hand and your willingness to keep showing up. If any of this touched something in you today, I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe to this channel. It lets me keep bringing honest, clear guidance without hype or nonsense. If you know another man quietly struggling, send this along. And if you feel moved to help, whether by following or making a small donation, it keeps this message alive for others who need it just as much. Most importantly, Promise me you won't give up on yourself. There's more laughter ahead, more mornings worth greeting, more love still waiting to unfold. I'd be honored to keep walking this path with you. So take care of yourself, truly, and I'll see you right here in the next video.